Peace, family. Peace, 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 peace. All right. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand and get it is going to get better once your perception gets better. So today's video is to the person out there that think they deserve exactly what they have. Okay. A lot of our belief systems, it stems from our childhood. Okay. And sometimes when we are in certain situations, we believe that's the best that we can do, or we believe that we deserve that. For instance, it was so many years that I worked on jobs and I didn't like, okay? And I was so afraid to quit the job because, and although I'm on Section 8 right now, I still was afraid to quit the job because a part of me felt like this is what it is. Although it was something that was in my subconscious mind or maybe my consciousness that I believed that I deserved better. But because of the belief systems that was in my subconscious mind of, you have to work hard in order to make a living. And like I said, all of that stems from childhood, okay? And one of the things about life that I love, okay, and sometimes I ain't ready for the lessons, right? But one of the things that I love is life is always reflecting back to us exactly what we have going on within our system and our subconscious, okay? And you may meet people that seems familiar to when you was a child, okay? Oftentimes that is, you still have that belief that some of the ways that you are being treated, that you deserve it, right? And I know, because some may be like, what? Why? And I feel that way too, because I'm like, sometimes you think you got over certain things, but sometimes it's still going on in your system. And the universe is always reflecting back to you exactly what you are, okay? And what your belief systems are. Not so much what we say we want, or not so much what we say we would like, but more so of who we are, right? And the more you say you want or you need, that is putting out scarcity and lack, and you're gonna attract more of that. Okay, so I'm really working around my way with this right now. Okay, so a lot of you guys, if you haven't watched my video, well, actually I uploaded it last night and then I deleted it and then I put it back up. Is the video we got into an argument. So all right. I'll always talk about how deserving you are, how worthy you are, even if at times you may feel like you're not deserving. And the reason or how you could tell that you feel that way is because you will stay in certain situations and you won't move from them because you believe that that's all you good enough for, or that's exactly what you deserve. So I gave you the guys the example about a job, right? Another prime example is, say you are staying somewhere, right? And the place that you are staying in, maybe you and the person, right? Maybe y'all have words, or maybe they don't want to fix stuff, okay? Or maybe you just feel like you want to move, but you are afraid to do so because you like, I don't know if I'm gonna find something. I don't know if things gonna work out for me. I don't know how things gonna turn out, right? Sometimes you have to operate from faith and know that everything is going to turn out and work out in your favor. Okay? It's nothing to be afraid of, but the story that we continuously give ourselves. Okay? And you have to understand and get that this here universe is full of abundance. Although you may be like, well, I'ma just stay, at that job, or I'ma just, So say another example is you working on a job, right? And maybe your boss talked to you any type of way, right? And because you are operating from a lack or scarcity, you may just accept it because you may feel like, well, I can't get a better job and I have to stay here because bills need to be paid. But it's somebody else that may experience the same exact thing and may be like, I'm not going through this, and just leave the job because they self-image and they self-esteem is more important than the way someone speaks to them, or they don't look at that situation like, well, I deserve this, or this is the only job that I ever could get, right? So one of the things, or some of the things that I'm working through, because I see like, is showing up, is authority, right? Dealing with authority. I know it stems somewhere from my childhood, like being afraid of authority, and like not wanting to speak up at times because of, it goes back to childhood, being afraid. And this morning, I actually wasn't even gonna do this video because I was like, I don't know. But it was a part of me that was like, I want to talk to the person that's in that situation that feels like they don't deserve better or they can't get better. Okay. The only way that we can heal if we feel, okay? The emotions and everything that we tend to have over situations, right? It is to teach you, that you need to address this or you need to start working on this, okay? And I always say that life gives us lessons and it keeps on showing us the same exact thing over and over and over again, because it's for us to start seeing that we are the true creators of our reality. It's nobody else that's making this happen. Is you that's making it happen. And when I talk about authority, it all stems back, I think, from, being a child, and you may hear, you're not supposed to say anything back, and, things like that. And then you grow up because it was instilled in you, not to say nothing back, not to speak up and stuff. So when you face somebody that's probably a authority figure, probably like where you live at, the landlord, or maybe your job, okay? Maybe those people are narcissists, right? And maybe you just like, well, I'm just gonna go along with it so I could get along, okay? The incident last night with the guy who is the owner of this property, right? One of the things that I was afraid to start speaking up, because I was like, we're going to get into an argument and, all this other stuff, because it was something that he needs to fix here. And when I asked him, because I asked him for something like a week ago, he said he would bring it or he would fix it, and he never did. And so last night I was, I was like, you know what, I gotta call him, I gotta tell him, what's going on and stuff. And when I told him, it was like I was being gaslightened, or he was basically trying to make it seem like it's my fault. When situations like that, do understand that It is not your fault and you're not crazy. Okay. And also understand that you have every right to speak up. Do it if your voice is shaking. Do it if you have to cry. Do it if, honey, if you gotta be with somebody. Do it if you gotta text them and then block them. But do it because you have to understand that everything is, or the emotions that we feel are energy and motion. Okay. And so when you express how you feel, you are actually letting that out of your system. Another thing is don't focus on what you don't want. Okay. Focus on what you want to attract. Focus on what you do want. So it was this phenomenal friend that I used to work with, one of my old coworkers, and she was living in this luxury apartment complex that they take low income, right? Like if you're on Section 8, and it's pretty much like a condo. And I remember like last night, well, actually this morning, I sent her a text message like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was basically just asking her, like how you go about getting in there. Cause she had Section 8 before, but now she's a homeowner. And I was asking her like, how do I get in there and all this other stuff. And she basically was telling me like, you got to get the application, and the way you could get in there really is with your Section 8, because they have some apartments that take, some affordable apartments that take Section 8, but your credit has to be good. And so right now my focus is, building my credit, repairing it, right? Also is what I seen showed up was I was afraid. When she was like, you got to get the application and all this other stuff, a part of me was afraid. A part of me was afraid. Because I was like, sometimes we feel like where we currently are, like that's it, right? And the reason I was afraid because I was like going there, and it's like a lot of wealthy people there because it's condos and stuff. And I started thinking about that and looking into that. And one of the things that I kept telling myself was everything is working in my favor. Everything is working in my favor. Sometimes you have to step into the unknown in order for your life to change, right? See, we don't get change by doing the same. For so long, I used to think that, like, if I do the same exact thing, change is going to occur. Because the truth of the matter was I thought that, somebody above was going to come save me. Or, something was just going to change on its own. For so long, I never understood that I was the creator of my reality. And sometimes, I forget, right? But what you have to understand is that things are working for you. And I know you may be afraid probably to leave that job or to find another job because maybe you got comfortable there. Maybe you think that's what it is, right? But once you release that energy, sometimes what you will see is you don't even have to do too much because things just gonna work out on its own. Because it's like you surrender to a higher power. And you guys know I say the universe, right? But one of the things that I had got from Abraham Hicks is you can't get from scarcity, lack to abundance, right? So me focusing on what the guy may do here or what he ain't doing here, I can't give my attention to that, right? But what I can give my attention to is what I want to show up in my life. What I can give my attention to is understanding that the universe is always looking out for me. What I can give my attention to is understanding, although what it'll appear that I'm going through, that if I feel it, I can heal it. Okay? And so I hope you guys got something from this. Make sure you're rocking out, believing in yourself. Do understand you are qualified. Do understand you are deserving. Do understand abundance is your birthright. And no matter what's showing up in your life, honey, you are able to push through it. You are able to have better and to get better. And the reason being because you deserve better and you're worthy of it. Not because of anything, because of what you look like, because you worthy. Okay? You was worthy. You here. You was created. So do understand you are worthy of it. Okay? I don't care what people may say. Or, some people say, well, you on Section 8, so you don't deserve, certain things and stuff. That's not true. I don't care where you are or what you on or what you do, you deserve better. And with that being said, I love you guys.